It takes more than dressing all your villagers in matching Templar outfits to protect your village, so here are 4 defenses you can try that broke my game in more ways than one. Let's start by upgrading this archer tower to be an elite tower that can beat any enemy it faces. We'll knock down the merlins and put in brick windows for 360 vision instead. Then we will build more staircases that lead to the floor above our archer tower to create another floor with more pillars and windows, and as you can see we have a 2-story tower. Do this a 3rd time using the walls you should already have on the right for the staircase and you will end up with a 3-story archer tower. There's one trouble with this tower, and that is this window is blocking the door and trapping people on the top floor. For now we will demolish the window to let these people leave, but we will need to fix this later. Your tower should look something like this, and luckily I finished my tower just in time for these raiders to spawn in. They aren't too bright, but let's show off how you set up the defense. Take 3 archers and put 1 on each floor, 1 square back from the window you have open. Open 2 windows at a time and have the rest closed. If there are archers on the enemy squad, you can close the window to block a shot and enemy archers line of sight to focus on infantry. To avoid having a villager get shot down on the way to open a window, select an archer, pause the game, turn off draft mode, right click the window you want to open, press prioritize opening window, wait for them to open it, then immediately pause the game again and put them back into draft mode. This is how it works against an infantry only squad. As you can see, some die after 1 shot from all of them, and for others it takes a couple sets of arrows. A couple of upgrades you can make here are giving all of your archers crossbows. This will really let all your people shred the enemies within 1 shot from all of them. If you're using the strategy, crossbows are a no-brainer. The second upgrade requires me to skip ahead a bit, but here it is. If you have this hole on the top floor, the enemy archers will have a direct line of sight on your archer and they will die. You need to fix the hole in top floor's wall by placing 1 square platform to the left of the staircase like this, so you can place a wall where there currently isn't one and then place a door here. It should look like this. And now when the bad men come, they cannot get you from that exact angle and they will be forced to pack in with the infantry in the mosh pit. When the bottom level archers' HP gets too low, close the windows and let the top 2 finish off the enemies. Now you have a pretty decent strategy that can get you all the way through the game, with the only casualties being those that decide going out of the base during a raid is a good idea. Second, on to the next defense, which you caught a brief glimpse of, but it can only be described as a giant wall. You can achieve the giant wall by laying down a line of walls as far as you want them to go, then building stairs and making a floor that covers the extent of the walls and hangs over the land by only 1 block. When you reach the end, you can extend out 1 more block and make a 4 long wooden floor that you will place a staircase on. Go to the top of the stairs and extend a wooden floor out 3 long to the top like this, and make a floor over the wall below like this as you did before. Then place the walls once again on top of this floor and repeat this for however high you would like your wall to go. I did about a total of 7 walls high before I did the next side. Before I tell you how to do that, know that it took my people about an hour and a half to build 1 side of this wall, and that was even with the help of our employee of the month, Elmer Digby, son of the great Gibby Digby and inheritor of the champion's blood that the great Gibby Digby possessed that allows him to negate all needs of sleep to dedicate himself 24/7 to building this great wall. Anyways, to build another side of the wall, layer the walls on the next side to be as high as the part of the wall you already built, then drag a floor from the corner of the built wall all the way to the end of the next wall for each floor. You may hit the max range, just keep trying to extend until you get your desired result. That's the next side of the wall ready to be built, and it's as easy as that. Do that for the other 2 sides of the Great Wall, and in about 6 to 10 hours you will have a fully constructed wall. You should probably keep an eye on this because people often find ways to get stuck in the wall, or if you forget to build more stairs for new sides of the Great Wall, your villagers will fall asleep while running to the distant singular exit of the wall. Another cool part about a large wall is that you can put archer stations within the wall. If you break 4 walls and extend out a couple of floors, place down a pillar on each corner, fill in the gaps with windows and place a roof on top, you now have a convenient place for an archer to come in times of battle. This is definitely something you should do before you completely build out the wall. The primary drawback of the wall is how choppy my frames have been after building it. It even got to the point where a thunderstorm came in, and when a lightning bolt struck, my whole game crashed. You may want to make a wall that is a couple stories shorter to see if that fixes the FPS issues for you. The benefit of the wall is archers can't shoot your villagers that are doing yard work, and theoretically it should help with trebuchets. I say theoretically because I prematurely began building out my next defense before testing out the wall against trebuchets. The next defense is a giant trench along the very edge of the map going as far as they let me, and this denies all intruders from ever entering my main land ever. There are 3 things you need to do to ensure this trench is effective. For starters, make the line straight across the entire border so it looks like a giant box. Second, when you reach a dip where a raisin lands, stop and draw a new line below or above. If you continue a line through a mountain, it tells your villagers to mine the land below the mountain and not the land above you meant to tell them to mine. And when going below, this will actually inform them that they need to go lower rather than ignoring you. Third, this takes a long time, so go watch The Office again or something while this is getting dug out, and check back in every 10 to 15 minutes for any pop-ups that stop the game. Fourth, make sure there is no way for them to get out of the trench if they spawn in. Any land ramps, man stairs, or other connectors that allow them to access the land or get out of the trench should be abolished. You don't need any bridge to the red zone either because there is nothing for you there. The end result should look something like this. Oh no, the raiders are coming. Let's see where they spawn. And look at that, 15 raiders and 3 trebuchets that have nowhere to go and no way to harm me. This is a great way to stop the trebuchets, and at any time you can end the raid by taking your archers, marching them to the edge of the trench, and letting them patiently dispatch all of the enemies in the trench. Now, if you don't need the triple speed option, you could let them live and never get a raid prompt ever again because you would perpetually be already getting raided. Even when they eventually call it a victory for them, they still have no way to get out, and as long as you don't mind battle drum music all the time, your village is safe forever. And now on to the final defense, which is like an expansion of the previous defense. The idea of this one is to let the intruders enter your land, but onto a piece of land in between the spawn point and the mainland. This middle piece of land will have a few entrances on it, but only one exit that leads to the mainland. Then that exit will have a ton of traps around it that will hit the raiders multiple times before they can get to the gates of your base. To build this, go 4 spaces back from the trench, and on the 5th space make another trench and expand this trench completely around the map, and make sure the trench is 4 spaces wide on all sides. Once that is dug out, make an exit from the middle land to the mainland, but don't make an entrance from the enemy spawn zone to the middle land yet. Before you do that, place traps all around the exit, and I put too many here, so I'm going to cancel many of them now. I'm also going to make sure that the middle lane connects all the way around, and that there is a way for people that spawn in the trench to get to the middle land. Once the traps are built, or most of them are built, you can connect the middle land to the enemy spawn zone by building a wooden floor over the trench. You have to do this in multiple places on the middle land because the red zone has terrain that you can't touch that blocks the enemy from being able to run all the way around to a singular entrance. Try to avoid placing entrances from the red zone near the exit to the mainland. You want the enemies to run through as many traps as they can before getting to the mainland. Let's take a look at how this works. The enemy raiders decide today's the day. They spawn in and a couple of scouts run ahead to the middle land. One dies to all the traps and the other looks back to the swarm of enemies that finally figured out how a bridge works. It looks like a lot of our traps have already triggered and have severely damaged 2 of their troops. Before getting anywhere near the bridge to the mainland, the enemy army declares a clear victory for them, and we have suffered a devastating loss. After not losing a single drop of blood or sleep on our side, it's clear we were the loser of this battle, and the enemies gleefully return home to celebrate their decisive victory. This is the 2nd or 3rd time this has happened to me with this defense. If you enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up, and I'll see you next time when I find out where all my missing frames went. Thanks for watching.